What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Let's continue to examine the career of Sammy Angott. October 27th, 1943. Sammy Angott would lose the NBA lightweight title when he faced Luther Slugger White. The fight took place at Gilmore Stadium. July 22nd, 1935. He lost a 6-round unanimous decision to South Carolina's NBA future featherweight champion, Jack Benjamin Wilson. Jackie Wilson is to your right. Sammy Angott is to your left. Jackie Wilson would face Sammy Angott, Freddie Miller twice, Tommy Paul, and Leo Ruddock 4 times. Now, Freddie Miller was a featherweight champion. Tommy Paul was as well as Leo Ruddock. So Jackie Wilson was in a ring with very good company, and he would become a featherweight champion of the world. And Jackie Wilson and Sammy Angott faced each other 2 separate occasions. Between those fights, Angott would face Tommy Spengel and Lee Shepard, William McGarty, Johnny Hutchison, and Everett Reitmeyer, as well as Jimmy Vaughn. Sammy Angott was still in the game. He was also in the ring with Ray Robinson, as we know. And he would face Henry Armstrong. He would kill a 62-0 winning streak record of Willie Pep. Sammy Angott was definitely the goods. Just came at a time when there were so many great fighters, so many great champions, and they fought several times within a month. Most fights were not turned down unless it was mob related, unless you had a situation and or circumstance where a white fighter didn't want to fight a black fighter. That happened often. Sammy Angott didn't deny Ray Robinson of a fight. He denied him of a title opportunity. And that would be an asterisk to his name, because he didn't challenge his title to the number 1 contender, and that was Ray Robinson. Now, Sammy Angott would face Wesley Ramsey May 6, 1938. It was in Louisville, Kentucky. Wesley Ramsey, let's talk about him for one quick moment. He was born September 17, 1909, and he died March 10, 1997. Had the pleasure of meeting Wesley Ramsey. He stood 5 foot 4 inches, had a 67-inch reach, weighed 133 to 135 pounds. And what was interesting about Wesley Ramsey, he was 87 years of age when he passed away. And he told me some stories about the game of boxing. Had 194 total bouts, 152 wins, 111 knockouts, 28 losses with 14 draws and 1 no contest. And Wesley Ramsey would face Stefan Hecacchio 4 times. December 15th, 1930, he would win. January 1st, 1931, he would lose. January 29th, 1931, he would win. May 15th, 1935, he would win as well. He'd be in a ring with fighters such as Johnny Jadek 3 times. Defeated him all times on points. May 25th, 1931 at Chicago Stadium. March 3rd, 1933 at Grand Rapids, Michigan. January 22nd, 1937 in Syracuse Arena in New Jersey. He would face Benny Bass March 9th, 1932. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. St. Louis Coliseum in St. Louis, Missouri. He would win by a newspaper decision. Be in a ring with Pedro Martinez, he would lose to him. Lou Jenkins, he would defeat him. Maxie Berger, twice. 1 loss, 1 win. Coco Kid twice. He defeated Coco Kid twice. Leo Ruddock, Ballingshaw, defeated him in 10 rounds. Tony Canzoneri, and defeated him in 10 rounds. July 17, 1939, Sammy Angott retires. Petey Cerrone, defeating him in 10 rounds at Forbes Field, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In his 67th fight, Angott faces Baby Arizmenzi. November 3rd, 1939, Chicago Stadium. 13 years old was Baby Arizmenzi. August 25th, 1927 is when he was born. August 21st, 1942. He was a welterweight. I find that to be fascinating because Baby Arizmenzi, as quiet as it's kept, was something else. March 17th, 1914. December 31st, 1963. 49 years old. Los Angeles, California. He was born in Mexico. Had a record of 138 total bouts, 93 wins. He had 20 knockouts, 27 losses, 13 draws, and won no contests. Stood 5 foot 4 inches. He was a bantamweight, featherweight, and welterweight. His last fights was at welterweight. He would face Henry Armstrong. I'm speaking of Baby Arizmenzi, by the way. 1932, he would win the Mexican and the California state featherweight championship belt. And he would give Henry Armstrong a shot. He would lose those titles to Henry Armstrong. But in 1939, Henry Armstrong would give him a shot at his welterweight championship belt. So those men, Henry Armstrong and Baby Arizmenzi, would fight as featherweight and as welterweight. And I thought that was remarkable. So Sammy Angott was in there with everyone. He faced Fidel LaBarba, who was a former Olympian and world flyweight champion, Mexico City, January 1st, 1932. Baby Arizmenzi was a top fighter, one of the best. He'd be in the ring with Claude Vonner. Victory March 1932 at the Olympic Auditorium, Los Angeles, California. Between June 7th, 1932 and June 28th, 1932. He'd win one, lose one, both at Olympic Auditorium. He'd face Newsboy Brown, Albert Chalky Wright, Lou Ambers 3 times, Tony Canzoneri, Freddie Miller, Rudolfo Casanova, Davy Day, Young Jack Sharkey, Mike Belois. I'm trying to think of some other fighters that he faced. Henry Armstrong for sure. But I gotta tell you, between Baby Arizmenzi, Sammy Angott, Jackie Wilson, Luther Slugger White, Davy Day, these are all remarkable fighters. Between November 4th, 1934, the National Arena, Mexico City. The featherweight, in January 10th, 1939, Olympic Auditorium, Los Angeles, California, as a welterweight. Baby Arizmenzi would face Henry Armstrong 6 times. Between November 25th, 1940, and July 7th, 1942, Philadelphia's Madison Square Garden and Shibe Park, Sammy Angott defeats Bob Montgomery 3 times. May 5th, 1940, Sammy Angott defeats Davy Day 15 rounds, Jefferson County, and Louisville, Kentucky. It was for the vacant World Lightweight Championship belt. Remarkable history of Sammy Angott. And I just wanted to continue to talk about Sammy Angott's career because I thought it was fascinating of some of the situations and or circumstances he was under. Now he faced Sugar Ray Robinson, July 21st, 1941 in Shibe Park, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He would lose in 10 rounds on a decision. That was his 81st fight. His 86th fight, he was in the ring with Lou Jenkins at New York's Madison Square Garden, December 19th, 1941. Sammy Angott would successfully defeat his opponent, and he would defend his NBA lightweight championship belt. And he would win the New York SAC and Ring World lightweight titles. Lou Jenkins, his name was Verlin E. Jenkins. He was known as the Sweetwater Swatter. And he was born December 4th, 1916 in Melbourne. He died October 30th, 1981, Oakland, California. He was 64 years of age at the time of his death. He stood 5 foot 8 inches. He was a lightweight and weighed anywhere between 133 and 134 and a half pounds. He had a total bout career of 119 fights, 73 wins, 51 knockouts, 41 losses, and 5 draws. So between all those fighters, you're looking at an era where it was packed. Lightweight, welterweight divisions, junior lightweight divisions, featherweight divisions. And as we go through the weight division series, we'll learn more about certain fights between distinguishing men. How some men came up in weight to fight another fighter in his natural weight, then go back down and fight other fighters in his own natural weight. You see, Sammy Angott had faced Willie Pep. Willie Pep was a featherweight. Angott was a lightweight. Henry Armstrong wound up becoming a welterweight, but he started out as featherweight. And he would take on Baby Arizmendi, who would hold the featherweight championship belts for the California and the Mexico City's featherweight title. And he would go up and challenge Henry Armstrong's welterweight championship. Henry Armstrong would win the featherweight championship 1937 from Peter Cerrone, and he would also capture the lightweight and the welterweight championship belt. So that was not unusual during those years. But they fought each other. They fought each other often. And the government bodies didn't interfere as much. Now, the New York SAC and the NBA was developed in 1920 and 1921. They always had their controversies, but they managed to work them out. So I just wanted to talk about Sammy Angott once again. So this is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Thanks to continue watching this division series right here on a Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series.